Welcome to the sunny jungle of Ancient. We begin our tour with Elevate, getting ready for the attacking pistol and aggression in towards mid. We wondered how frisky M80 would be into their face, and well, here it goes. It's kind of a slow crawl, slow creep, surgical one might say, but it's worked out nicely. Slacks gets a second. Yeah. Don't even know if you can see the second. But all right, straight up assassination here. This mid fight has not gone well. Plucking players L1 after another. Finally, some sort of an answer, but it is a swift pistol round for M80.
Oh my goodness, that was unbelievable from M80. I mean, all the pieces we kind of talked about, or at least two of them that we talked about, already activating their Slacks, making it look clinical with the 3K from the USP, and Malb's getting on the action with a nice little surgical one tap from himself as well. 1-0 in favor of M80, and the aggression came through immediately. It's something that's very typical of Ancient on your CT side, right? You do want to go for that aggression. You want to get in the face of your opponent, especially around mid. Spending two players is not unusual, and I think that's going to happen round after round here. Malbs has been one to take opening fights a lot for M80 as of late. I mean, if we're looking at total opening frags out of the entire team over the last month, 38.6 of them belong to him. And he's got, 36.4 attempts as well. Stin's going to get a couple here. Swisher dropping peeping, and, well, it's as expected.
I thought he was supposed to have bad ping. What's going on? I ain't noticed it yet. Free firing. Whatever you want to say. Swisher, I see, has gone to the Elige school of buying the ump. This has come back into vogue. I don't know how I feel about it, John. How do you feel about the ump in CS2?
You know what? I don't like it at all. Like, I tried it out the other day, and I said, this just feels bad. But, I mean, look, Elige was using it, so now we have Sin rocking it, so maybe there's something there that we're missing because the pros are starting to use it.
I liked it early days, when spraying and peeking was worse, or felt worse.
Right.
Oh, hello, Sin. Got his little nade line across there. There we go. Because... Oh, was that? That must have been team damage. That has to have been bullets through from his teammate over in sight. Maybe trying to force a player out from Cubby if one had slipped up. That could have been the idea on it, or fake covering where Sin actually was. Either way, not the intended effect. Let's see if it comes back to haunt them. Only 9 damage. Shouldn't be a big problem, John.
No, should be fine. I'm sure they're not too worried about it. I mean, it's AKs on the other side anyway, so a headshot is death regardless in this case. Swisher, waiting with the smoke. 52 seconds left on the clock. There's plenty of time.
This is the problem. He's still holding a molly. Bomb's not even picked up. There's 45 seconds. I know Elevate like this slow creeping style, methodical clear, but when this molly goes down, they're in trouble. They're going to have to commit a smoke to it, I'd imagine, and come through. And that's exactly what Swisher's trying to wait out. There's 3 players here now. Molly goes down. Sub 30 seconds. Smoke up to follow it. They have to go through this. They've just spent both their smokes. They've got one more. Just now they're moving out. 20 seconds. No time to spare. Flashbangs leap. Spray down galore. And yeah. I mean, this is M80 just holding them at arm's reach and never letting them into the site, never letting them into the round, never really giving them the fight they wanted.
Yeah, and on the bonus round, too. Sin does go down here to Snap. It doesn't matter, time's up. And then Snap runs out to mid. Yeah, Peeping has to be very cautious. He is not going to fight. He's actually backing off here in towards A main, so the AK can be saved at the very least, but that just went completely awry for Elevate. We talked about it mid-round. They're just waiting and waiting and waiting without the control of either site, without much map control at all. The bomb is still back towards spawn. They have to go and retrieve it before they can even get the XU going. Then there's 20 seconds left. They pop through the smoke. Swisher's waiting with open arms and an M4 in hand. Gets 2. Malbs pitches in for 1 with the MP9, and he also gets an AK upgrade along with Swisher on that site. So that could not have gone better for M80.
Oh, the nade would have finished it off. Swisher robs it with the spam. What?
Whoa.
Connects for 2. Hold on here. Hold on. Didn't even realize the window peek had come through. That's lethal.
Oh, man.
I wonder what that looks like from Dia's perspective. This is getting a little weird. Swisher, nervous about this fight. Can't really risk going for it. I think right now he's trying to play contain, right? Trying to make sure that they can't slip out because he's got a player sight. And he wants to keep the guns for them as well, it seems.
Nah, I mean,
Firing these rifles out.
Yeah, I was just going to say, like, getting the rifles away is a good idea, but he doesn't have to really get aggressive here. That's a mistake a lot of players make when they're in these type of situations up against the pistols. They go, oh my goodness, we have to take a fight. I have to get the advantage here. But no, just wait. Be patient. There, he spots that information. Still got the util advantage. Throws the smoke down, and it's going to be very difficult for Elevate to push through into the B site now. They might just redirect themselves, but Rek is waiting. Can do tons of damage. There's 1, 2, getting it a third. Yes, and the 4K even coming through from Rek for a 4th round on the board.
Talk about bullet economy there. Didn't have a bullet to spare. He gets it on the last one. A 4-man spray down with the A1S is a tough task.
That is.
Even with the lesser weaponry on the other side, that's beautifully done. That's going to be frustrating for Elevate. You get the advantage. You get a crazy pop-off play from Dia, but then it's again, this really slow, late colors to play. Swisher had long since spotted every single player. They knew exactly where they could be. They knew exactly how to contain them. And, I don't know. They have to change at the pace. If you keep running this same pace, taking B main control and then playing slow, M80 can read this. We're already seeing it. They're holding mollies late. They're waiting these out. They're very comfortable to just kind of sit and let the round come to them.
Yeah, it's really strange to see Elevate kind of bang their heads against the wall, repeatedly going for the exact same setup every single round. I mean, it's been 5 rounds in a row pretty much of this same approach from Elevate. I don't really understand it. They're not really trying to fight mid. They're not going towards A at all. They don't even have a lurk towards the A side to create some noise. So M80 have had a chance to set themselves up, get comfortable. Like you said, they're in no hurry to use their util, and they're going to pace it well. Molotov goes in towards Jaguar, so Sin is going to back off into Cave. And, I mean, Elevate feels like they might be able to exploit something. I'm not sure what they've seen, but we'll have to see if perhaps this will work out for them.
Again, another smoke goes up. Now we're
right there.
We're going to be sub 45 seconds. They've still got nades. Swisher still has a smoke. Mob still has a smoke.
Slacks has a Molotov, but he's on A, but still.
They're ferrying us over. Sin's now go. I mean, this is just... Yeah, there's another chain smoking towards Cave. You're just never going to go out. They've got this idea, but they're just setting up and then telegraphing exactly what they want to do. And, I mean, M80 will just stall them. Why not, right? You got no threat anywhere else in the map. Here comes the exact... Okay, flashbang's good.
Okay,
second one's good as well. This is actually working here. Peeping. A double entry off the MAC-10, and we've got hope. Oh, spray down line. Oh! Traded. So this is the way it's supposed to work, John.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, honestly, that spray almost takes down the bomb planter, and we still got Mobs alive. He's always absolutely terrifying for his opponents. Well, maybe he's going to try and do something. And absolutely, he's pushing up, looking right into Cave, spotted the foot, knows one is there, but they're trying to bait out the attention in his direction. Molotov will help Melbs focus on the site itself. He manages to flick back into Cave, gets one, but they're so lit. Melbs is still doing work here. Finally goes down. Slacks has to back off as a result. At least they do damage and make it a very costly round for Elevate, though, Mike.
That's a massive round for Peeping. Double MAC-10. I mean, if he loses one of those, I don't know if this happens.
No. Yeah.
They're just leaving themselves such little margins here. And again, it's aggressively telegraphed. At some point, M80 are going to start putting 4 over there. It feels ridiculous to say, but there's been no A main presence. Eventually, you're just going to start cheating.
I mean, also, maybe that's what Elevate wants, so they can start forcing M80 to lean towards that B site, and then that's when they're going to trigger themselves to go for an A hit. We'll see, but...
Once again, 3 over towards B main. At least there's 2 in elbow this time.
Yeah.
Bit of a different look. Deep utility early. Maybe a little bit too early, actually, from M80. They want to get a little bit friskier on this fight, and the spam's not been good. Dare, does he go through? Oh, he does. Not the way you would have expected, but
and they get
it
both.
Works out. Sin gets caught as well. The spacing is weird, but Swisher could actually find the bomb. Does he know? Does he know? No, he does not. But he may not need to know.
What? Yeah, I mean, if he knew the bomb was there, that would have been quite the coup, but unfortunately doesn't. He goes down after finding two, though, so makes it very winnable here for the remaining two players. And maybe the problem is they don't know where the bomb is headed. Both players are kind of spread out across the map, so they need to group up and
This is
gamble,
safe.
and it looks like it's going to be an A-site gamble, which probably won't be where the bomb ends up. We'll see.
Yeah, the intention on this is to save, but also it's taking so long that why not? Rek's gonna go looking. Surely Dare has to know that this is a possibility.
You get this?
Surely he has to know. He does not seem to be aware that the A main push could have come through. Certainly not ready for it. Bomb is going to be planted. No one's in the zip code, but now in a 2-on-2, they'll attempt the retake. Why not? I mean, I assume Rek has a kit to pick up. There it is, en route. Slacks needs to get a move on. He was maybe expecting to wrap up through Red Room. It's the only thing I can think of for why this has taken so long, but they didn't do it. They only know about one site, and it's the B site. First chance missed. Rek up the ramp. Peeping. Playing a bit of an off angle, and it's going to work out. That should be the round. Slacks one more, but he's running out of time. He's trying this. He's giving it a look, but he's not got the kit, and without the kit, this is done business. Shot will land. No survivors for Elevate, but a second round that they much need on the board.
Yeah, I mean, at least getting the frag there, like you mentioned, at the tail end of it, but great job from Elevate, continuing to put pressure on that B site. And again, that's the second round in a row. It's worked. I'm impressed with the fact that they've been so persistent there, but like I mentioned, they've seen something. They want to keep going that direction. And if Peeping continues to get these frags, then, well, I see no reason for them to stop. But they did poke and prod a little bit towards mid there, as we saw. You know, they slipped through those smokes and managed to get a couple of frags early on before Swisher got that 2K. But then they hung around a little bit too long, and that gave the opening for M80 to even it back up to a 2v2. So Elevate, despite what feels like early struggles, are managing to overcome those, and right now it's just pistols coming up for M80 and the saved AWP. You already see one of those pistols go down from Sin over in Jaguar. Dia throws the pop flash there, and he's just going to bide his time. Bit more of a spread out approach from Elevate this time. And Snav gets one more. And Malbs manages to connect with the Deagle. Let's see what he can do here.
This is the round we get somebody out A main, though. Finally, someone's out A main. Malbs is punishing them in mid in the meantime. You got to be ready for this. There's the spot. There's no more element of surprise here for Peeping, and they want to collapse on him. They want to chase it down, and Malbs is a man on a mission. One hand cannon, 3 headshots found, and now an upgrade to boot. Elevate, you can't lose this. This is the gimme. You can't be losing here. If Slacks gets back on this angle, they're going to be in big trouble. He's crossed. It's going to be over towards long. They might not be aware that Snav is up this far, but they have to know it's a possibility. And meanwhile, the bomb still needs to make its way out ramp. Op clearing. Op checking. Op finding the kill. Dia alone now with nowhere to go. What does he want to do? Route through cave? Try and wrap back, eh? They just need to play contain, and they know it. And now Rek's got an AK with which to do so. So he'll attempt this from the cave. What do they think this is on the timing? That's the real question. They have lost track of this. Bomb plant gonna go down. Dia's got it. Now there's confirmation on, and the op doesn't quite find it. Smoke to provide precious few seconds here. But still, players to deal with. Isolates the first fight. Nicely done. Taking the initiative here, knowing that he has to move before they do. Rek. Oh, he's got the read. There's the shadow spotted as well. It's Slacks who has to get this done. And Dia's played this masterfully. What a recovery. An absolute disaster class of the round. Pulled out of the fire by Dia.
Wow. I mean, look, I thought it was over after Malbs does so much damage against Elevate. They made the mistakes, and Dia literally saves them in every I'm sorry. In every possible way, Mike.
Making you forget yourself just a little bit.
Yeah, a little bit,
spicy,
man.
That was really wild.
That was really nice from Dia.
It was beautiful.
Myself a lot.
Absolutely beautiful. Could be some concerns with the spacing from the M80 side, but the reality is slim picking round to begin with. Dia played that to perfection with this well. Sin, Sin actually had vision. I don't think he quite realized it. That we can chalk up to the ping, frankly. Now Dia's collected another. Oh boy. Elevate, making a game of this one. M80 are trying to shut these rounds down before they even begin, right? Going for these fights outside of cave, and this is what Elevate wants. I'm starting to wonder whether there's maybe even just a hint of frustration creeping in for some of this M80. You know, they were so dominant in the early rounds, and no, not so much. Oh, fortunate for Rek. Eyes on the right angle. Could have been a problem if he was continuing that fight from window. But instead now Elevate feel like they're contained, but Slacks peeking into Dia means they don't need to worry about contain. They're not locked in here with you. You're locked in here with them. Oh, and Dia, he's the warden.
Absolutely unbelievable this time. Dia with a 4K, not required. 1v3 wasn't required this time, but he has really woken up, and that's why I said he is that player to watch on the Elevate side. If he's playing well, then M80 are going to have some fits and starts, and they are having exactly that right now as we are tied up 4-4. Their money is back in the dumps, and they're going to have to settle for a pistol buy up here. 2 5.7s, 3 Deagles. But the util's so light, and they only have armor on Rek. It's a nade and a smoke. I'm surprised they're not opting to stack a sight at this point, Mike. And you see the peak there from Mobs immediately punished by Dare. And everyone on Elevate continues to kind of, take their time and play the pace that they want to. And that's usually when Elevate does their best, when they're not really forced and put under pressure, and they can fight against that adversity that they face.
This is interesting that M80's ripping the A main gamble stack, or just the A gamble stack in general, going towards Donut. Considering that the tendency here has been B take after B take after B take after B take. It's honestly shocking not to see them focus up on that site. They're hoping for the late window rotation into the Donut stack.
Mm-hmm.
But now they're trying to get proactive, and they've got no flashes behind this. They might catch peeping. There's the spot, but that just confirms what his teammates have already found. There's no one on B. So even if they bring peeping down, it might just be a one rifle constellation prize here. And good luck even getting your hands on that, just to Slacks. What's he got? Dancing off the flashbang. Player now through the red room, and that'll be Dare to polish things off.
Wow. All right. Well, Elevate 5 in a row now, even though it looked like things were going to collapse a little bit in the middle of all of that. When Dia was in the 1v3, he pulls it off. And I don't know, Mike. I mean, Elevate impressing me on Ancient. As I've said before, it's a team that's played well on this map in the past. And, their slow, methodical play focused on strategy is part of the reason why. But they haven't been doing well on it as of late. And then they come against M80, who have been absolutely ridiculous on it. Well, of course, that was on land, but still. And now they're giving them a lot of bit of trouble. And Sin playing from Europe wasn't a problem in their previous BO2s, like we already talked about, but now only 3 frags.
Yeah, I mean, definitely the individual performance isn't going to be stellar. They're not expecting it, right? I am wondering. Some of the things that M80 are calling still feels like they haven't necessarily adjusted to the fact that Elevate are just going B every round, right? They're trying to play more towards what they would in most situations. But at some point, you're going to have to adjust in here. I'd imagine that's part of what this pause is about. Def may be getting in their ears saying, look, fellas, it's 3 or 4 outside of B main at the start of every round. Go back to sitting and using those mollies late.
Yeah.
Try and play the time. Let them have the space if they really want it. The thing you can do, John, is you can wait until they've taken that space and then throw the punish HEs.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, look, it's honestly M80. They were playing it so well at the beginning, right? They were waiting patiently. They were using their util late, and not letting Elevate kind of force them out into using too much util and knowing that they're a slow style of play. But I think there's been maybe a little bit of panic perhaps on the M80 side with the way some of these rounds have been lost. I don't know, but we've got a timeout here, so maybe they're having technical issues as well. We don't actually know what might be going on, but for sure, they need to settle themselves down. And I guess this is a chance to do so.
Yeah, you'd imagine. Seems like we might have a little bit of a player DC reconnect type of situation. A classic. A classic. But it has been really interesting, right? It feels like it's the quintessential meta on Ancient right now to go for that aggressive control outside of B main in towards elbow, so on in that vein. And it feels like they've actually been punished more often than not on that, right? That's what Elevate are looking to play for. But when they sit back on their haunches back towards the site and create awkward situations for Elevate coming through smokes and the choke points, that's where they've had some success. So curious to see what we get out of this next round. Meanwhile, for Elevate, look, as critical as we've been of them, it's working. It's working. It feels ridiculous that it's working, but it's working.
Yeah, no, I mean, the fact that they continue to go towards the B side after M80 had already won 4 rounds in a row, you thought that, you know, they would be able to rebuff them every single time, but it worked for them. So, you know, like you said, we were criticizing them so much, but there was absolutely no reason to do so because they managed to pull it off, even though there were those rounds where it's more of a question mark as to why they won the rounds and M80 maybe making some mistakes. But we're back into the action here.
Change up.
And yes, there is a change up.
Here it is. Here it is. We were wondering. They've been training them so heavily to expect to be played. Okay, maybe that's why. Holy calzone. Utility usage has been good here for Rec. And they've taken a lot of damage early without anything to show for it. And now they're going to go back into B main control.
Of course. Well, maybe not yet, right?
Maybe a mid-fight.
They look like they're going towards elbow here. And yeah, that mid-fight may materialize. The bomb dropped right in spawn. That was Snav dropping it. So I think he wants to fight forward a little bit. The IGL looking to get some information for his squad, but the smoke is thrown deep into the B double doors here.
What's interesting, right, is when you force them to play this deep, the CTs run out of nades a lot quicker.
Yeah.
And so Elevate still have a massive utility advantage off of this. We've seen them throw this molly. This is the re-clear molly. Then they start to come in. Before we saw them get into trouble, and M80 just gave this space, but Swisher's waiting. What is he watching for? Playing anti-flash off this? Trying to play off of Sin's contact, perhaps? Well, the threat's coming towards Sin, and Sin is down. So now they're in trouble. The flashbang was to set up this peak. It works beautifully. The re-peak, though, the further space, that's not so good. Tries to take it a step in, and yeah, you're absolutely right, John. It's now looking tough. How did Mobs even hit that shot?
I don't know.
I can't believe he got a kill out of that. Sets up a 2v2. But they were both on the same angle, so nice setup from Elevate, and in the post plan, it's been good for them. What do you got for us, Slacks? Scope up, that's been heard. That's been heard, but the first player he's got, did Diaz show? I think he did.
I think, yeah.
They ready? Oh, the patience!
Oh, no!
Costs him. Love the idea. He'd been overlooked. A wreck behind won't make the same mistake.
Wow. You know, oftentimes when you see your teammate go up, your immediate instinctual movement is not to clear anything. You just go straight ahead, follow your teammate onto the site. But Rec, his wits about him, realizes, hey, hold on a second, Slacks. You didn't check left. Let's do that. And he gets the frag. So well done from Rec to ensure that every spot would become uncovered due to his methodical play. So 5-5. M80 do manage to get one back and end that 5-round run for Elevate. Honestly, again, they get a bomb plant, though, so their money stays pretty healthy. They're going to have 4 AKs and the AWP to utilize, along with pretty much full util, except for Dia, who's missing the flashbang. Ethan goes for that aggressive push towards mid. He tried to beat perhaps the Molotov out, which is almost impossible to do. He just wanted to get some util. Darren Dia going stop afterwards. I think he wanted the AK. There we go. AK back in his hands. And now it's a 5v3 in favor of M80. What a swing in their favor. Snap's trying to get one back and does. Sin continues to fight. You probably shouldn't. Uh-oh, that Molotov's going to trap him here with only 10 HP to spare.
He knows he's goner. Yeah. He knows. He's just trying to eke out whatever little bit of damage he could. Ooh, they've got this back to a manageable situation, though, John. I mean, you're seeing Rec has to rotate in to support this, right? Has to come on through. Swisher's now retaking the space Sin just died in, so he's trying to create the unexpected here. But this is where Elevate pumped the brakes. They got what they wanted. They got to fight. They punished mobs. That's most important. Mobs could have been very dangerous on that peak, but dodging the flashbang, punishing mobs was massive. Now they're inchworming their way up the B ramp. Oh, re-smoke. They're past it. They're past it. Does Rec realize? He does now. Certainly, the jig is up. Molotov going to go in. That denies the plant space. Time's starting to become an issue. They're going to fight forward. Ooh, big kill. Could have been trouble. Bombs drop. Just down to one. Just down to Shane. Recovering the C4. Trying to plant it. But the spam is good. Smoke to set up the spot. And Swisher realizes where the bomb's going down.
Wow, Swisher. I mean, just a great, just memorization of that spam spot is what it is. And he knows exactly where he needs to shoot to take down the bomb planter who had to be uncovered because of the position of his teammate. And there you have it, 6-5 in favor of M80. That was, again, a very back and forth round. But, you know, Elevate unable to seal the deal when it counted. And we're up, I mean, to the last round of this first half. The thing is, Elevate getting that 5-round run was impressive in itself. If it dies out there and we don't see more from them afterwards, it'll be problematic. We'll see here. Dare is going to get the opener. Malbs manages to get the trade immediately, though, to defuse that situation and regain mid-control. Smoke is going to fly out as well, so he gets even a firmer grip on it. And we'll push up to utilize that space. That means things are a little problematic for anyone who tries to come out of those B double doors. Malb's already engaging there, but he takes the worst of it, throws the nade up, and only 1 HP of damage to Snav. He has to actually back off of this before he gets caught out after that smoke fades.
Sin's just trying to jiggle it. Play this on the utility, knowing that the ping game's going to be a bit of a nightmare on these quick twitch fights.
Yeah.
But they're both jiggling. It feels like they're mirroring. Oh, do you stop? It was such a nice dance. Now they're out of sync. The rhythm's gone. The magic of the moment's gone. Oh, all right. That's just a straight peak fight in. Smoke's going to go down, but Sin's in a really tough spot. Molotov on. They're coming through. He knows he's in trouble. If he can get anything out of this, that'd be huge, but it's not to be. Pre-fire attempted. Pre-fire failed. And this last round looks like it's chalked on for Elevate. What you got for us, Slacks? What are you cooking? Try. Gonna give it a look, and he's gonna get raced down with an MP9. So slow and steady might just win this race, John. second half kicking off here. This is not quite the game we expected after the intro. It's looking all M80 at the 4-1 line, and then Elevate show what they do best. Stick to their guns, stick to what they know, and wind up with a split half. I don't think M80 was expecting this. Now they're getting red here on this setup. Peeping gets one. Oh, an assassination here from Dia. But Swisher and Mobs, what can they do here? 2v4. Pressure on. Flash not there. Molly was good. Bomb dropped in the open. Swisher knows this is a desperation play now. Good luck. Godspeed. See if you can take any of them with you. It's not going to happen. Snav mows them down. And it's Elevate on top.
Yeah, 7 of the last 9 rounds going Elevate's way. That, as you mentioned, a perfect read on their side as to what M80 were going to throw their way. And M80 are just straight up going into the A site, trying to take fights, and it doesn't work at all. They only get one, and, well, things have not started off too great for them here in the second half. But they do have a silver lining to keep an eye out for, or maybe not a silver lining, something important to keep an eye out for. Malbs is absolutely lethal on the T side entries. He's got 38.8% of the team's attempts and a 1.39 rating. He is lethal. So we might not see it in these first few rounds, right? They have to, after losing pistol, go for an eco round here. They should have AKs next in Galil, so that's the one where you're probably going to want to keep an eye out for Malbs and see what he can do. Going for fights like that, and that's pretty unfavorable, though, MP9 versus Glock.
Not ideal.
No.
Not ideal. Let's see, here's going to be the burst on in. Speaking of MP9. Some money made here for Shane. Sidearm required, but Snav's got his back, and that is a clean second round for Elevate. No chance of a bomb plant, no whiff of one. But the guns will now be out for M80, and here's where we're hoping to see some.
Yeah,
hoping
I think
to see a little bit of juice, because, well, it's starting to look pretty dang good for Elevate, isn't it, John?
It really is. And I mean, like we mentioned before, M80 needs some wins. They need some wins to get into that top seeding territory. And if they continue to kind of split these series and not come up with clean 2-0s, it's not going to be great. That said, I mean, they did defeat Limitless and Lag 2-0, like you mentioned, but it's teams like this, Elevate, in the top tier of competition where they're really going to have to show themselves.
And good the problem is as well, right, before Sin came into this, nice shot for Dare. You did lose some wins. They lost some maps against teams that you wouldn't necessarily have expected. You know, playing with an incomplete roster, playing with Def standing in, it was clear their hearts maybe weren't in it, but it has put them in a bit of a tough spot here.
Yeah, I think they lost both maps to Mythic, right?
Yes, as I recall.
That was the biggest surprise. Yeah.
And look at this now. Elevator reading this. Bring a third player over. This is the same problem Elevate we're getting into. This B take is just a little telegraphed. There's still a minute. There's plenty of time. And you're seeing Dia shift back to try and adjust into this. But Elevate are cheating this. Playing the heavy numbers in towards B site. And that could be a problem. Oh, the swing back in. Fortunate for Shane. I think that he wasn't punished. There was no flashbang for that. Utility's now running out. Actually, Shane's going to get the better of Swisher.
Wow.
Just a peek in, just a read of the spot he likely was in. Called his shot, and he got it. Swing back. Oh, my goodness. They're getting abused by this MP9. It's all in the slacks. This is a disaster, John.
No, and like you said, it's the bonus round. Slack's going to get one at least onto Dare, but he takes so much damage that engagement. You have to imagine he's not long for this world. Completely surrounded, Molotov trapping him in place. He's forced forward. Shane and Dia, oh my goodness, he was getting fired on from behind. Slacks is done. Just he gets one before going down, which is impressive in itself. But Dia ends his misery, and it's 9-6 for Elevate. The good news for Slacks though, and M80, is they did manage to do some economic damage on the tail end there. They got a couple of players, so a little bit more of an investment, Mike, than Elevate might have wanted versus having 4 players alive.
Yeah, I don't think they care at this point, though.
Maybe
that was the bonus round, right? That was the round with guns saved through. They've got cash to spare. It's another limited buy from M80. It's another eco armor on only 1 player. This is starting to spool up into something very dangerous indeed. So he's just gonna go through this. He's just gonna risk it for the biscuit, try and offset expectation. Smoke came out very late. I don't know if it missed the molly or what happened there. But they're in trouble now. They're getting picked apart. Nades on in. This was all just to get a bomb plant. And a bomb plant they will not have. Elevate, we're ready for that.
Yeah, I mean, without question. See, interestingly enough, I mean, you see a lot of teams opting to go for slower paced plays when they have their ecos and playing the mind game a little bit. But each time we've seen M80 in these situations, they've just gone for straight hits, whether it be towards A or B, or even like the straight aggression they had on their CT side when they were on the eco. So it's weird that they're opting for this type of style against a team like Elevate that's so good with their patient play. You kind of want to outplay them in that regard, especially when you're at a disadvantage, but it just doesn't happen at all. And I mean, it's a field day for Dare, who hasn't exactly been that impactful this match, but racked up 3 more into this round, and Dia gets the last. 10-6, the first team to double digits, Elevate.
And I mean, that man you just mentioned, we got to talk about him. 21-8. He had that incredible 1v3 in the first half. But it has been impact kill after impact kill. He is far and away the best player on the server right now.
Yes. I mean, without question. And he has done that pretty consistently, I would say, throughout his throughout his career, I should say, on Elevate since he was picked up by them. And I mean, he's behind Air, at least in terms of the season, but he's that player that can really be that X factor for them on many occasions. Malps, speaking of X factors, needs to come out here and do something. Have the impact that he had previously. There we go. Malps finding that headshot onto mid. And finally, an opening frag for M80 on their T side.
How can they follow it up? I want this cave fight. I want to threaten Snav. But he's not going to give it to them, at least not initially. Now, once again, other than the pistol round, right? We haven't seen too much action here on the other side of the map. That seems to be changing now. Bomb's still outside of B door, so keep an eye on it, but at least a fake is being thrown, and it's already starting to pull Snap. Oh, that kill's going to sell it. If that wasn't just their intention to take A, that's got to put Elevate under pressure. But no, they're going for a double cave fight. And as they get aggression on, oh, they're going to be punished on the other side of the map as well. So now pick your poison. It's players isolated either site, and they've run down Snav on B. The bomb will be planted. D is massively out of position, and it will finally be both the first bomb plant of this half for M80, and almost certainly the first round win as well.
Yeah, I mean, Sin's been stuck at, I think, 5 frags for a little while. Finally, he gets a couple, but it's Malps that starts it, right? Just a great entry frag going out towards mid, and then gets the follow-up afterwards. Great work on the M80 side, opening up the space, and that cave attack that you talked about was the key moment in the round that allowed them the space to get that bomb planted. And now D is completely surrounded. I think they know where he is, too, because they clear every other spot, and he gets one at least in his dying breaths as Swisher will end him. 7th round picked up for M80.
Now you got to follow it up. Yeah. You cracked the code. You made it work. You made them sweat as well. Right? Pressure on both sides of the map. That's kind of the ideal for a T side. Keep them guessing. They don't know where it's going. They try and go for the info play into your hands. That's how you want it to work. Just got to do that, 6 more times. Easy.
Yeah, easy. No problem.
Definitely not a tough map to make that work on.
Very difficult map for that to pan out for. But hey, look, M80's one of the best. We touted them as near the top of NA right now. So if anyone could do it, it's them.
He's up on top here towards ramp, hoping that someone's going to give him the long peek. It's not going to happen, but actually, they're playing a little risky. The rotation out there. Dare's going to come into support with extra util. But there was a moment where this B side was relatively undefended. And yeah, Elevate shuffling the numbers around here, shifting up spots because they want Snav as the low HP player to play with the AWP.
Mobs.
Backside of A.
What happened there?
Is that just random spam?
It might have been.
From Dia? Mobs isn't going to be loving life for that.
No.
And now Slacks is low. Let's see what's going on here. Here comes the take. Here comes the approach. Shane dead, spots the next. Swisher getting information at the very least. They're going to take space behind that AG. Kill found for Dare, but he needs more and out of bullets. This could now be trouble on. Bomb going to be planted. With it now ticking away, the retake's required. Sin's kind of stuck. He's got a teammate to support, and Sin's going to be able to trade for the second as well.
What?
Just the low HP Snav, the man who was tagged at the very beginning, the man who invoked Bogdan's Law, now in a 1v1 in a clutch. First problem solved, but he doesn't know where Swisher is. The Swisher's repositioned. He expects him in the cave, but it's not the cave. It's not the cave at all. It's the ramp. Gonna be a tap. Pulls off of it. Swisher's not even checking now. He'll start to move, but as he realizes he's not on, Swisher knows he's won, and a shot will seal the deal. M80 building back in.
Oh man, that tracer right next to Swisher as he peeked out just to check that bomb, but it was already too late for Snav to come back in and get that defusal. Well played, tucked himself in, wasn't baited out by the fake defusal, eventually said, okay, it's been long enough that I can have a look, and realized that the round was already his by that point. 8th round picked up by M80, and finally they have forced Elevate to go for an eco here. Only a CZ purchased up. That's the only thing that actually Elevate have invested into. No utility, no body armor. On the other side, M80's got the op, the 4 AKs. They are looking quite strong as they're trying to make a comeback into this map. 3 players on B. That appears to be where M80 want to end up. We'll see if Elevate goes for the full-on stack at this point, because they've just got USPs and a CZ. The CZ around the corner here gets spotted out, and in the meantime, everyone else melts away onto the site. This should be M80 winning the round with only peeping left.
USP in a dream! And now 30 HP to boot. He's done for, keeping it clean. That's a welcome change of pace, I'm sure, for M80. It's got a little bit of finance building now. But that was the easy round. That was the easy test. Now, if they want to tie this game up, they got to do it against the rifles. One fortunate thing, no op. No op to contend with whatsoever. It's just not available. So that'll make life a little bit easier. Maybe, just
perhaps,
maybe, neuter Dia a touch.
I mean, Dia's still really effective with the rifles,
yeah, hasn't
right?
slowed him down much.
Yeah, we watched him not only here, but in other matches as well. He can rock the rifle just as well as he can the op. He has been doing that with 24 frags. Now, Dare pushing out aggressively. He's not blinded, but it still works out. He's with Dia. Dia gets one, and Dare gets traded out, and so does Dia. Wow, Sin with the high ping, still making it work. Slacks connects onto Snav through the smoke, and everything feels like it's starting to go M80's way.
Feels like Sin's been the difference maker, right? Yeah. Not the player who should be forced to step up, but he's doing it here. Oh, the nade, not quite going to take a favorable bounce. They know they've got Shane painted in their corner, but in the meantime, well, Swisher's walked all the way out on B. So, especially with that kill, they will have all but secured this round. It's a question of how aggressively do they want to hunt the last.
One thing Elevate hasn't been doing very well is, saving these guns. Well, mostly because M80 hasn't allowed them to. But you'd think Peeping would have backed away from that mid-peak, and he actually does finally. It's just there's so many players to worry about, and given the money situation for M80, they're going to chase it. I love the way, look how methodical they're clearing out every single part of the map. So once they end up towards the A site, they'll know that Peeping has to be there.
Yeah, they're sure he couldn't slip the net.
Yeah.
There's just no way. Actually, okay, Swisher just got a little bit of panic. He's going to go back and check the ball.
He's like, oh, maybe.
You know, if you have literally any doubt in your mind as a player, you might as well go check.
Yeah.
This one gun's not going to hurt you that much. Losing the round certainly would. Good flashbang, good clear, good kill. Trading one, perfectly worth it. No saved guns here for Elevate. And so M80 maybe procrastinated on some of these rounds in this second half, but now they're getting their work done and handed in just on time.
Yeah, I mean, $3,400 loss bonus coming through from Elevate gives them the luxury of maybe investing a little more heavily into this eco round. You already see it with the UMP on Snav's side, and then 4 5.7s. And let's not underestimate the 5.7, right? We've seen how crazy it can be, especially in Counter-Strike 2. So do not count Elevate out of this round. M80 sending 3 players towards the B site, 1 into mid, and that one is, of course, Mobs. He loves to take those fights mid. Realize it's clear, at least within his line of sight. While the rest of his team makes life difficult for Elevate with the utility on the B side. Sin again, the opener. He's almost back up to even after struggling for majority. There it is, 16 and 16, and finally dies. So he loses the KDR 1, but it doesn't matter. He helps his team get a 4v2 advantage here, and the 5-7's not really a threat at all.
Man, oh man, look, you might say they're just eeks, but he's looking sharp on some of these clears.
Oh yeah.
Maybe a bomb down. That oh yeah might have been the most Canadian I've heard you sound ever, John.
Really?
Yeah, you hit him with the oh yeah.
Oh yeah? Oh yeah? I don't know.
It just snuck out for like half a second.
I don't know. Didn't know I could sound Canadian saying oh yeah, but I guess so, yeah.
Yeah, just for a moment.
Fair enough.
Just for a moment.
I thought I'd eliminated that. Just kidding.
Just a little bit. Mobs making sure again, nothing safe. There was just an out this time, but if you're Elevate, you're gonna start pinching pennies anywhere you can because running out of chances. Peeping's thinking about the glass cannon. Surely not. Yeah, okay. That would be surprising. They need their util up here. There's gonna be no kits. Something key to note if we get into a retake. Could have potentially spared it if Peeping didn't get a helmet. Buck makes his choice here. Nade on, and wow, okay, Dia. All right. Heck of a way to get started. Util on, aim on as well. The blind fire.
Yeah, I mean, like, did the damage with the bullets, but it was the utility that got the kills. The nade on one, and then the Molotov burning the M80 player that was above it to a crisp. So there you go. Snav manages to get one immediately after Swisher finds it. So the trade is good. They still have the man advantage. It's getting perhaps a little bit scary because they have a player isolated on the A site. Dare is quickly over here to close the gap. Molotov is tossed into Donut, so that will push M80 back a little bit longer. Is the nade going to do damage? No, not at all. So Rek and Slack still at 100. They can readjust here. There is plenty of time on the clock here, Mike.
That there is. God, this space mid is Snav aware. Seems to know that it's... Oh, no. Whoever knew it was a possibility, but there we go. And they're going to have the read as well based on the position that he was playing. I love it's going to be isolated. Slack sticks around on the angle, holds for the next. Bomb's going to be down. It's a disaster for Peeping. How do you even get out of this? How do you even get out of this? How do you possibly do so? Well, he's going to try. He's going to give it a look. The first hurdle, the rifle at long. Problem is, even if he clears this, then there's an off on the ramp. Apparently not yet. The bomb's playing it open. There's going to be the peak, and yeah, as he goes to clear the one, Slacks will find him from the other direction. It's map point found for M80.
Wow. What a recovery. We go back a few rounds, we're saying, you know, it's going to be a tough ask on a map like Ancient to get back into this one and not really lose any other rounds, but they do it. M80 proving again why they've been so good lately, that resilience, that psychological fortitude to come back and get into this one. And Sin, in particular, the player we didn't expect to be the one who would need to step up, is the one who does. You know, he was sitting at sub 10 frags for quite some time, and then T side, he's getting 2 frags round after round to help them bounce back into this one. Snav going to throw the smoke here, try and fend off M80, but things are dire for Elevate at this point. I mean, their money's not great, so they force up whatever they can. It's 2 M4s and 3 MP9s to try and work with. Mobs looking around here. Also, sorry, I was going to say, Mike, in that last round, I love the decision making from Slacks to wait around at CT spawn to get that second frag instead of, you know, immediately trying to ferry themselves to the B site. It's just little details like that that make the difference between winning and losing a round.
That's unfortunate for Dia. Dies to a hail of bullets on spam timing. They've gone for the aggressive stack here. If the numbers get whittled away before they can shoot, that's not exactly ideal. Snap and dare.
What?
Here we go. That's what they were looking for. That was the whole idea. Didn't even have Dia to do it. Now the bomb is dropped. It's just left to Slacks, and this one's a disaster. Not happening. One more casualty, but that'll be it. Elevate, giving themselves a chance here at overtime.
Wow. I mean, look, there's still plenty of cash for M80. They're going to have a full buy. But that is unbelievable. Of all the rounds for them to take, it's the one where they're just backs against the wall, 3 MP9s and 2 M4s looking very dire, and finally it works out for them, you know, on that B defense, and they take down 3 before M80 even has a chance to think about what happened. So 24th round, we're going the distance. 2 AKs available to elevate off of upgrades from that previous round. The AWP, the 2 A1Ss, it's, you know, down to the better team at this point. Who's going to have the better performance, either elevate on the defensive side or M80 with what has been quite a torrid pace to their T side.
Mobs?
Mobs wants that fight.
I think he's DC'd. I think he alt-tabbed.
He jumped.
Yeah, I think he alt-tabbed. It's the thing where you tab out, but you're still technically in control. Yeah, it's just going to take their peek, and yep, freeze kill of his life. No. Extremely unfortunate timing there for M80. That's unfortunately a known bug. Matching the molly, but let's see if it costs them map point. Bomb looking to be planted. Wreck dies in the crossfire, and there's still Shane here in the cave. They're not ready for him. That should be it. We're going OT. Yeah, Malb's got jammed there.
That shouldn't be in the, I mean, it shouldn't be in the game anymore. Like that, the fact that it is just, anyway. Let's not go too deep into it. I actually myself wasn't having that problem before, but sometimes when I alt tab now, I don't have any inputs. And I think that's what the problem is there, right? You just don't get the inputs. You can't really do anything. And one in particular is firing your gun. So what a shame for that to happen at this point in the match for Malbs. Now he's reconnecting, trying to get back in, but we are headed to overtime as a result. Man, oh man.
Man, oh man, indeed. Seems like, based on the timer, we have him back in here, but he's not on the HUD just yet, so we might need to do a quick little refreshy fresh to get that one sorted. Oh, pause still coming in, so might still be issues here, folks. I mean, this has been a game of streaks, right? Elevate, yeah. Slow starting on their T side, roaring back in for the 6-6 half. M80, slow start, roaring back in for what we thought was going to be map, and then just not able to get it over the line. This is, it's been a tough one to piece apart.
Yeah, but, I mean, let's be clear. Elevate are at this point because Dia. I mean, 28 and 15, largely in part the big factor in coming out with round victories. That 1v3 clutch, in my mind, is the most impressive point for him throughout this match, even though he's had a lot of really important frags. That one in particular is what allowed Elevate to go on a little bit of a streak, get those 5 rounds in a row, and get back into the first half. If they don't get that, this one is already over in my mind, because M80 would have had enough chances, you know, to get that 13th round, and we'd be on map number 2 now. But instead, Dia has continued to carry his team on his back and brought them into overtime. Still waiting to get everything resolved with Malbs. Hopefully it's not too serious of an issue with his PC, but we have to wait. We don't have any information on our side, guys. So we're waiting just like you.
Someone check him PC.
Yes.
Let's see. Do we have any information? Ooh, no, we don't. Hopefully it'll be resolved quickly. Looks like he's in here. Yeah. We're actually on his perspective right now. He's just double up slacks. So we might need a quick hug to refresh here. But we should be good to go into the round. So away we go. Overtime on. Let's see what we got. No mobs on the HUD, but I promise he's in the server. He's taking the elbow fight. Getting frisky in mid. Peeping. Looking like he's piloting a submarine right now. Fire torpedo! Uh-oh. That torpedo's going nowhere. Blew up in the tube, and now they're in trouble. Finally, the change-up pitch. M80 were suffering from a little B-itis as well. But the A change has been a welcome one for them, as it's straight up a sweep, and now a sight with full control.
Nice shot from Dia, though. Go ahead.
I think Swisher was trying to line up the silent drop there.
perhaps.
Looks a little silly doing so, but it's all good. They still, reminder, got 4 alive. Malbs being, as he is, a bit of a ghost right now. And with that extra kill, yeah, Elevate don't even want to risk this. They're going to save. So we are done and dusted here. M80 strike first in overtime.
Yeah, in very convincing fashion, right? Just a couple of ripper shots coming through from Slacks. That second one in particular, just taking the head off of the Elevate member. And, well, 13-12, like you said, in their favor as they take this opening round and looking very effective going towards that A site. That's another really great point. Continuing to go to B. Not only was Elevate doing this, but M80 wanted to get into that bomb site or were ferried there, or whatever the case may be, round after round after round in regulation, but then finally go to the A site and it looks fantastic. So I think they should continue trying to exploit that.
We got these tendency trainers. It worked for Elevate as well, right? The one round they finally went out, it was like, there are 2
There's
sites.
another bomb site. Yes.
Goodness. Let's see what they stick to. Mob's going to be in towards Elbow again, presumably. He's got a good spawn for it this time. They're setting up Util for him to fight potentially, but the Molotov will slow him down. Once again, it is a focus on A. You just got Swisher selling a little bit of information here out towards B with the double aggressive cave setup. It is really just going to be about peeping. They've gone to that double op. That's why they wanted to save in the last. And, well, he will connect the shot, but the question is, can he actually deny site control? And the answer is a big fat no.
No. I'm surprised they don't try to smoke out or molly out Catacombs before he has that clean shot because he's waiting so long. Yeah.
They might not expect this wrap. He is going to back into it. That's a disaster. Now the second one falls as well. A little labored, but it's a clean out of the temple. And they might as well be sending up their prayers with incense right now because this round's going up in smoke.
Indeed. Snav and Shane are still going to try for something here. Snav, excuse me, get the bullet to the dome. And Shane will at least do some damage before he falls by the wayside as well. 14-12 in favor of M80. That was, a nice opening frag found for Elevate from peeping. Like I said, though, I think he had way too much time and was way too comfortable, to be able to even get that opportunity. One player passed him, and even the second player is not looking into Temple. Anyway. But it doesn't matter at the end for M80 because they make up for it. They come out with 3 players. So they lose 1 more after that point and take full site control in a very convincing fashion. So we're into the final round of this first half of overtime, and M80 look to be cruising along. 2 flawless A hits for the most part. Now a nade's going to come through. Sin eats that just to hold his spot and get that util to sail out. Another nade comes his way. Molotov thrown. In the meantime, on the other side, Swisher gets one onto B. So there's only 1 player left there. That's Shane. If M80 keep the pressure on, he could be gone quickly, and he does manage to get one in through the flashbang. But yeah, traded out immediately, and that will be the B site taken.
Look at how many smokes they've had to commit as well to holding back Sin. Oh, doesn't clear the Cubby. Swisher low HP still gets the punish on this. Peeping slipped into cave, but this is really their one hope. Right now, it's looking like a blank half. And Rex gonna make sure of it. Dia, you can't save here, but I also don't know how you're possibly gonna get back into this round. There can't be any wasted time, can't be any wasted movement, can't be any wasted shots. Well, not even going to be able to get around the angle. Domination there in overtime. M80 switched on and ready to end this map.
Yeah, very few casualties as well in overtime so far for M80. It just couldn't have been better for them, honestly. And looking at that scoreboard, Slacks is the one who started to step up in a big way. 24 frags from Swisher as well. We talked about Swisher being that pillar, that foundation for this squad. I think he's one of the most consistent players. And when you need someone to really backstop you and be there getting the frags that are critical and important times, Swisher is usually the one you kind of turn to and say, hey, man, can we get anything from you? And he always has the answer. Absolutely yes. Dia coming through with the AWP. Open to find something. That's an aggressive posturing from him. It works! Goes into Jaguar, spots out Sin. 5v4 immediately in favor of Elevate, who love this B site, as we saw in regulation.
That's a nice tickler. Oh, and a little bit of a limp molly there. Caught more of the smoke than he expected. Full extinguished. Nothing on the nade pop either, so Not really getting the value out of that utility. Mobs clearing. Oh no, this caught him off guard the one time he did in regulation. It doesn't seem like a player's ready for it either. Assassination there, peeping, never prepared, and now they know they've got no options. They can't leave this. Swisher takes the first. He likewise can't leave it, but tags on the DM, make him uncomfortable. Still finds the kill.
There it is!
Oh, and he's taking it all! Disaster on M80 have got it. Elevate, nothing doing. They had just enough to get us to overtime, but they ran out of gas. The tank ran dry, and the car broke down, and it was M80 all the way.
Yeah, Swisher and Slacks finished at the top of the scoreboard. Swisher, because of that 3K at the end, gets to that 24 mark. Wow, I just talked about him, and there you go. That's what you get from Swisher in those important situations.